Daily sports with our favorite sports reporter.
Turn it all the way up.
Everybody, listen up. Everybody, stop what you're doing and listen to
The AlphaMale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. It is me. He is I, and I am him. I am he that they call the AlphaMale. Ooh, what a day. What a day. It's Friday. Friday Frenzy Championship weekend. We are here on AlphaMale Sports live on my YouTube channel. If you are on my Instagram currently, because I started my Instagram before I went to my YouTube, but if you are on my Instagram, please, and I say that 3 times because I mean it, please go to my YouTube channel. It's right there pinned at the bottom. Tap in at the YouTube channel at the bottom and give me a little chat on, you know what I'm saying, because I can see the chats. I can see your comments. I'll be able to comment back to you and, you know what I'm saying, read them out loud as well. But what's going on, everybody? It is me. He is I, and I am him. I am he that they call the AlphaMale, here for AlphaMale Sports. And it is an amazing Friday. It's the Friday eve, or the eve of the championship weekends, NFC Championship, AFC Championship, big weekend. And my picks are in. I've already decided who I believe is going to win. I've already decided who I feel is the proverbial whatever. I feel like I know who's going to win, and I'm not going to go so far as who's going to win the Super Bowl. That comes after the fact. But nonetheless, welcome everybody. Welcome. Glad to see you all here. Glad to see you all in the land of the living. And of course, I always start my show by letting you guys know where you can find me. Of course, if you're not already on the YouTube channel, you can see it right here on my Instagram. And if you're not necessarily sure where the Instagram is on the YouTube, I have it right here. Go to AlphaMale Sports. Follow me on IG at AlphaMale Sports. All one word. And you can also follow me personally in my personal page on radio, the number 6_ Raheem. Okay. Radio Raheem was like my favorite character on Do the Right Thing. You know, Bugging Out was pretty cool. The 3 old men, you know, sitting on the side of the restaurant or whatnot, or sitting on the side of the wall or bodega, whatever you want to call it. They were pretty cool. But man, when he came with that love and hate, you know what I'm saying, and all that other jazz, it was pretty cool. But anyway, let's jump right into it, man. Today, I wanted to let you guys know we're stepping away from the X's and O's necessarily, at least until later on in the show. You know what I'm saying? Mookie. Yeah, that's right. Mookie. Yeah, Mookie. Yeah, Mookie was your guy. I can dig it. Go to my YouTube, Bilal. Go to the YouTube. You see it right there because I see you commenting. Go to the YouTube. But anyway, man, we definitely got to get into a lot of talk today. First, I want to start off by just kind of deading this whole Ed Reed thing, right? It's ran its course, Ed. It's ran its course. And there is a time where I feel as though you have to humble yourself. Understand that I want him to understand that there's a certain point where you have to say, okay, I might not necessarily know everything. My man Mackie is in the building. Shouts out to Mackie. But I feel as though there's a point where you have to say, I might have been wrong here, or I might have been wrong there, or I could have done better here, or I could have done better there, or I should have asked questions instead of jumping out and lending my opinion on certain things. What we understand in the HBCU culture, and for those of you who have attended historically Black colleges and universities, we're not perfect. I don't think any college is perfect. Just being completely honest. No college is perfect. And I'll give you guys a short graphic of mine, you know, where I played football and where I went to school, Benedict College. But we're not perfect. We weren't perfect. Just being completely honest. Now, we did have the perfect season. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get a national championship, but we did get a conference championship this year. Shouts out to Benedict and SIAC. But at a point, you know, what Ed Reed failed to understand and realize is that, dude, before Coach Prime said anything or did anything, he went to work. He did his job first. You dig? And I think that's something that Ed Reed failed to understand or realizes that you jumping on live and jumping on Instagram and you're getting a bunch of amens. Instagram is an echo chamber. Okay. I can go on there right now and say black men don't respect or protect black women. And I would get 1,000, 100,000, 100 million views and claps and yays and okays. And as soon as somebody comes with the contrary or they believe something different, then all of a sudden they are ridiculed, ostracized, casted out. What am I saying? Ultimately, with the Ed Reed situation, I wish that he took his time and just said, let me go and work and get to know and understand the culture first before running out and blabbing and spewing out all of the stuff that he said, because it got nasty. You had the Roland Martin situation. He went on to the Roland Martin television show and he went on there and he started to spew and blurb out a whole bunch of stuff. Go to the YouTube channel. But he started to go out and start to say all of these, inflammatory things, in my humblest opinion. I think he went out and just started to say a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense. You don't think Ed Reed went to speak to administration about the issues before going to the extreme? Regardless of what he did prior to, there is a way to do things. There is a way to handle your business. And how he handled business was not conducive to anything or anybody, because ultimately, who loses? And this is to my buddy Bilal. Who loses in the end? The HBCU. Because now what people are doing is they're looking at all HBCUs and thinking, well, this is how it is here. These guys don't have helmets. They don't have all of the proper supplies. I guess that must happen at all HBCUs. Well, that is quite the contrary. Go online and look up Prairie View. Look up their facilities. Go online and look up Alabama State. I will get to that later. Go to the YouTube. Shouts out to my homegirl, Rachel Ryan. Go to my YouTube. It's pinned down there at the bottom. But there are so many different things that could be said about the situation in its entirety. But, my friend Bilal asked that question, but they've always thought that way. LOL. You can't. Okay. Again, this type of conversation or this type of back and forth hurts the HBCU nonetheless. If we could talk about all of the what could haves, what haves, what if yous, and all the other stuff, get to freaking work. And if Ed Reed was that passionate about it, get to freaking work. Go get to work. That's all that he should have done. That's all that he should have done, because going to social media, which is the extreme, did not do him any deal of justice. Because now what are we in? What he doesn't have a job. Bethune-Cookman still has to look for another head coach. And the kids are the ones that hurt in the end. Now we can talk about the systemics and all that other stuff, whatever. When I went to school, yes, there were some things that I deemed undesirable. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like it was undesirable in certain cases. But that wasn't my thing to say. Yes, and Deion does have more resources than Ed Reed. But regardless of all of that, he had some type of star power. He had some type of name. The least he could have done was used that instead of going on social media and just berating, because it makes all HBCUs look bad. Again, one of the things that I've consistently heard on social media about the HBCU space or sports cultures and things of that such, and the sports world in HBCUs, is that we don't have all of that we need in order to carry on. Again, type in Prairie View, Alabama State, Benedict for that matter. Benedict has revamped and resurfaced. When I was at Benedict, yes, we had to share weight rooms with the basketball team and the cheerleaders and all this other stuff. Yes, we did. Now the football team, they have their own facility. Their own facility. For those of us who remember, it was the administrative building right next to the World. Yeah, they took that and turned that into a full-scale football facility. And that was because of the administration. So we cannot take this situation and apply it to all HBCUs, because it doesn't. It doesn't. And what Ed Reed did was out of pocket. I wanted to defend him so bad. I wanted to defend him so bad. In the beginning of this whole situation, I wanted to defend Ed Reed so bad. But the unfortunate truth was what he did was undefendable. I guess if that's a word. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say anything. Go to my YouTube, guys. I want to point this out as well. Please go to the YouTube. It's pointed down there at the bottom. Hit the subscribe button. But I'm going to leave that where it is because I'm telling you right now, it'll just get me frustrated in a tizzy. I don't want to do that anymore. We'll move on. But I will say going forward, I wish him all the best of luck. I pray that he does get the opportunity that he is looking for. And I hope that, indefensible. There you go. But I just hope that he does get what he's looking for in the end, because ultimately what this whole situation was just, I mean, it was completely nasty. It was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. But anywho, we move on. And of course, it is championship weekend. It is Super Bowl. We're on the verge of the Super Bowl, if you will. And what I've understood going forward is that, the quarterbacks right now is the big story. All the quarterbacks are the big stories, okay? And we can go into all of the different stories that we have currently, okay? We could talk about Brock Purdy, how he was Mr. Irrelevant, how he was the guy that, I wouldn't say nobody wanted, but he was the very last pick of the NFL draft. And here he is on the verge of sending his team to the Super Bowl. We can talk about how the San Francisco 49ers are in their fourth NFC championship in 5 years. Okay. We can talk about how Patrick Mahomes is dealing with an injury, but yet somehow willed his team to go to the AFC championship. Somehow was able to push these guys over the edge, if you will, to get to the AFC championship over Jacksonville. We can talk about how Joe Burrow, 2 years straight, AFC championships, on the verge of taking his team to the Super Bowl. And one of the different tidbits that I'm going to bring up later on in the show is Joe Burrow, or can Joe Burrow at some point surpass Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the league? We can talk about Jalen Hurts, how he hasn't gotten the best. Let's not blame listen, we talk about football. We ain't talking about the referees. One of the things of those of you who have played football is that we do not allow the referees to dictate what the game does for us. And if you've done that, and if you allow the refs to get into the game, that's on you. You didn't prepare. But either who, we can talk about Jalen Hurts and how, he hasn't got his just due. And I sort of agree. My wife is a major Eagles fan. And one of the things that she has pointed out to me consistently is that Jalen Hurts does not get his just due. He does not get his full respect. He does not get the flowers that some of these other quarterbacks get. I think it was, forgot the guy's name. He's a commentator, whatever. And he was saying how Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes are the only three superstars in the league. And he was pointing out that Jalen Hurts is not. I don't believe that. One commentator that I do listen to vividly and often, religiously and often, is Colin Cowherd. And Colin Cowherd even said at one point, he was like, listen, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts are headed in the exact same direction. My only opinion is that I feel as though Jalen Hurts is definitely headed in that direction. And I think he's going to surpass Josh Allen because his window is closer. But a few of the tidbits that I'm getting on is, of course, Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, number 2. Last year they played each other, and it came down to the wire, came down to a last-second field goal, sending the Bengals to the Super Bowl last year. And just being completely honest, I don't think that there was anything wrong or anything that Patrick Mahomes did incorrectly. I think he just faced a very tough defense, a very stout secondary. And I believe that the Bengals offense, they are who they say they are. You have all of these weapons. You have Jamar Chase. You have Joe Mixon. You have a defense that can hold teams to a specific point differential. So with all that being said, do you believe that that Joe Burrow can surpass Patrick Mahomes? And I want everybody, like I said, follow me go to my YouTube, hit me up there. We can definitely talk about it there. Excuse me, as well as leave your comments here on my Instagram, because I see that most of my friends are going to stay there. So that's perfectly fine with me. Another one is, and this is where I'm going to stick to for a couple moments, Lamar Jackson and what everybody is saying about Lamar Jackson. Now, we all know that he is going to be on the move. Recently, he let out a tweet on Twitter regarding his situation in Baltimore, and that relationship is severed, in my humblest opinion. I feel as though that relationship is severed and it is on its way. And I feel as though he does deserve to go to a good team. I just don't think it's with us. When I say us, it's the Atlanta Falcons. I wore my jersey today for that very reason. I'm in the barbershop and I'm having conversation with fellas, and they're like, yeah, man, we got to go get him. We got to go get him. Hold your horses, people. Hold your horses, because we're going to dive into all of that in regards to what Lamar Jackson is, what his value is. And I'm not going to diminish it, and I'm not diminishing his value. That's one thing I do not do, is diminish anybody's value. If you are valuable, and that's a strong if, but if you're valuable, there is a need for you. And I don't think anybody should try to take that away. But in regards to Lamar Jackson, let's just go back through the history, if you will, right? Drafted in 2018, the 32nd pick overall. So he was the very last pick of the first round to the Baltimore Ravens. Currently 37-12 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. 63.7% completion rating. He has about 12,000 yards total in his career right now. 2019 MVP, 7 fourth quarter comebacks, and 10 game-winning drives. That is a lot to say about a quarterback, and that is a very good job on behalf of Lamar Jackson. And again, what he does and what he brings to the table. Let's just go ahead and give him a big round of applause. You know what I'm saying? A big hand clap of praise, if you will. But what I don't agree with, as far as my friends, Falcon fans and things of that such, I don't agree with us so ready to go and get him and bring him to Atlanta. There is a reason why, though. It is not because I believe Lamar. It's not because I don't think Lamar Jackson can do it. It is not because I don't think Lamar Jackson is capable. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that dumb. I'm being completely honest. I don't think he's dumb. I think he's an intelligent person, and I feel as though he wants to get to a situation where he can win. He can win. We can't win with him right now. But you say, but AlphaMale, you guys, defensively held teams to 20 points or less. Yes. But you guys only lost games by margins of like 7 or less. Absolutely. I can go down the list and show you. It's a lot of them. But my point is that we in the Atlanta Falcon era, or this era, when I mean era, I mean Terry Fontenot being our general manager. I mean Coach Smith is being our head coach. I feel as though right now is not the time to shoot for the moon with Lamar Jackson. You have a rookie currently who does not, let's just say he doesn't come with as much of a price tag as Lamar Jackson is. He doesn't come with that much of a price tag as Lamar Jackson is. Because let's just go through the histories again, because I just brought up to you guys what the price tag was for the man, and well, not the price tag, but the stats, the statistics. But let's go through it. Drafted in 2018, 2019, got a $9 million bonus, or I guess, yeah, a $9 million increase, $9 million contract, 4 years, $9 million. So of course, the jury at that time was still out for the guy, but he was deserving of the money. Now he's at a point where he's owed $23 million. As a matter of fact, the Ravens signed a $23 million incentive for him back in 2021. just so that they can hold him over, fully guaranteed, just so they can hold him over. Now we are at a point, he is an unrestricted free agent. Explain to me, and you guys can leave it in the chat here on my YouTube here. Explain to me why it would be beneficial for him to come to Atlanta, be that he is an unrestricted free agent, be that he has the opportunity to choose where he would like to go. Explain to me what sense would that make for Lamar Jackson to come here to Atlanta? Is it the Michael Vick aspect? Is it the Michael Vick, residue, if you will? I cannot get with this Michael Vick residue, leftover, whatever that is. He had his time. He played his time. Unfortunately, it ended in a very, very tragic way with the Falcons. It did. I hate that it ended the way that it did. I truly do. I wish that he stayed here as a career Falcon, as a Falcon. It didn't happen that way. So in my humblest opinion, we need to leave Michael Vick back in 2007. He went on to play many years with the Eagles, took the Eagles to the playoffs multiple times. He went on to play with the Steelers. Okay, had flashes with the Steelers. He had his career after us. So let's leave him where he is. Okay? So let's leave that argument out of the conversation in regards to Lamar Jackson. But now here we are with the situation again. Here we are with Lamar Jackson. Let's break down the Atlanta Falcons and what we have. We got a lot of money. This also tells me that a lot of you people don't necessarily know how to spend money correctly. Okay? Job of a general manager in the NFL is to spend the money effectively. It is, here you are, here's the bill, go get the groceries for me so that I can make a 10-course meal. That is the job of a general manager. You don't believe me? Go look it up. Okay? He could get a wing. He could get a wing combo named after him at Magic City. What would it be called though? Lamar Lemon. I don't want to do the lemon pepper thing again. It's getting annoying. Anywho, back to my comment. But the Atlanta Falcons, we got a lot of money, about $52.63 million in cap space. It could jump up to $70 million in cap space if and only if we get rid of or part ways with Marcus Mariota, who is now on the injury reserve list. So we can make a good chunk of change if we decide to move on from Marcus Mariota. That's a lot of money that we would have. Now, the issue though is that we also have some issues. We also have some holes that we need to fill. Lorenzo Carter at linebacker, he's an unrestricted free agent. Caleb McGarry, who's an offensive tackle, who helped us anchor that offensive line. He is due money, and he is an unrestricted free agent. Olamide Zaccheaus, that wide receiver, he is due some money, and he is also an unrestricted free agent. Isaiah Oliver at cornerback, Rashaan Evans at linebacker. So though we point out the certain things that the Atlanta Falcons were able to do, we also still have some things we need to tighten up at home. There are a lot of holes that we need to fix. We need an interior defensive lineman. We need another cornerback to help AJ Terrell. We need another cornerback to help AJ Terrell. So again, where do you see us spending the money? I used an analogy the other day at the barbershop, and I love using this analogy because it's kind of how I grew up. My mother was the type of mom, she wasn't going to cash out for some Jordans, okay? She wasn't going to waste all of her money trying to get us a pair of shoes that cost $250. So what did she do? She gave us an opportunity to do it ourselves. Here's $200 for Christmas. You go spend the money the way you need to. But I'm going to warn you, if you spend all of it on shoes, that's it. So I use that analogy in regards to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the pair of Jordans. He is the pair of Jordans. He's shiny. He looks good. Might have a dent or two, mainly because of the knee injuries and whatnot. But he's still, I could pull a couple girls with these shoes. But then you look at it and it's like, ugh, if I cash out on Lamar Jackson, where can I spend the money on the other places? Where can I save money? You can't. You would go broke. We need an interior defensive lineman. We need new offensive linemen. We need cornerbacks, linebackers, defensive ends. We need offensive linemen, another tight end. So I just wouldn't be so quick to jump on the Lamar Jackson bandwagon. I would love for you guys to definitely pay close attention to what you're saying in regards to that, because it's a lot. It's a lot, but we know that he's not going to go. Now, what I will say is, here's my dark horse, or here's my prediction, if you will. I feel as though Lamar Jackson should, a suggestion, let's say that, it's a suggestion. I feel as though Lamar Jackson should go home. He should go to Miami. They have issues at the quarterback position. They're not necessarily sure how long Tua has. And this is in no form a slight on Tua, but they need stability. And the only ability that you need to have as a quarterback is availability and sustainability. They need to sustain you. They need to be able to sustain wins with you. I feel as though Lamar Jackson, given the offensive line, given the team that he has at hand, you have the cheetah, you have the weapons at offense, you have Jalen Waddle, you got a running back, you got a good running back system, you have a good running game down in Miami. Go to Miami. It's warm. It's warm. But as far as the Atlanta stuff, I'm done with that. That's out the window. Now let's go ahead and get into this weekend. Of course, you got Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts. Then, of course, you got Joe Burrow taking on Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be a major weekend. Major weekend. So, who do you have? Who are you picking? Who do you go with? My humblest opinion, I'm going with the Eagles, and I'm taking Joe Burrow and the Bengals to return to the Super Bowl. I feel as though Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I don't know why I'm getting stuck here, but I feel as though they are prime. They are really they're on like a lap. They're connected. They're running on all cylinders, in my humblest opinion. When you see them going into Buffalo, the conditions are not suitable. It's freezing cold, snowing everywhere. Not only does Joe Burrow have a great game throwing the ball, but Joe Mixon has over 100 yards rushing. The defense steps up, puts pressure on Josh Allen. And I feel as though they take the same game plan into Arrowhead, into Kansas City. I just don't see them losing. I do not see the Bengals losing, just being completely honest. With Patrick Mahomes, and though people have said, well, you know, earlier in the season, Patrick Mahomes did injure himself, and he was able to get himself fixed up, and he actually threw for 500 yards in the previous game. Yeah, okay, I get you. All right, I get you. He threw for 500 after, you know, an injury. I understand, but this is the playoffs, and I don't see the Bengals letting him off the hook. I feel as though they're going to add pressure. The cornerbacks are going to lock him down. Eli Apple is going to step up. I feel as though there's going to be some turnovers in this game. There's going to be some mistakes in this game. And I'm banking on the Bengals to go and win it all. Well, not win it all, but just win and go into the Super Bowl. Now, as far as the Eagles and the 49ers, here's what I feel. Brock Purdy is a great story. And in all honesty, if he is able to find a way to beat the Eagles, which I can't see that, like I saw a slight weakness in Brock Purdy versus the Cowboys. Cowboys had a stout defensive line, a stout defensive rushing attack. I mean, it was very difficult for them to get things going, but they stayed consistent. Brock Purdy stayed consistent. A consistent running game with Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? So I understand what it takes, but I feel as though the Eagles, They have the interior defensive line to stop whatever Christian McCaffrey and the running attack has. I feel as though their secondary creates what we in the football world call coverage sacks. Coverage sacks is where, the quarterback has time, but he has nowhere to go. He has time, but he has nowhere to go with the ball. He can't throw. So then that offensive line, I've played it, it's tough to hold somebody up for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. If he finds himself in that situation, I feel as though the Eagles are dominant. And I think they are the most dominant team in this year's playoffs. And no, this is not my wife speaking through me. I know that she's an Eagles fan. Yes, she is an Eagles fan. But we watch the game together. We watch it together. And sometimes I can get over coachy and be pausing and say, babe, look, right there. See that play? Watch how it sets up this play. See that play? Watch how it sets up this play. See how they got blocked that guy to spring this guy, whatever. No. I've seen these guys play. I've seen them dominate. They dominated in the divisional round. They've dominated throughout the season. Yes, when Jalen Hurts was out, they still had opportunities to win, and they still played very good football. So this isn't as if this team isn't a good team. Whoever said that, I think it was Brett Starr or something like that. He was a former linebacker for the Jets. The dude that said, can't wait, him, said that he's not a super. The guy's headed to being a superstar. He's on his freaking way. So let's just cut that out. I'm telling you right now, man, that is my pick for this weekend. I told you, I'm not getting into the X's and O's. It's more the storylines for me because I feel as though that's where a lot of us hang at. That's where we hang our hats on, is the storylines. And, oh, man, this guy, because he went to Auburn and to UCF and he went to all these different schools, that's why he's supposed to be the Super Bowl and supposed to be the great. No, bump all of that. Those are my picks, man. Ed Reed, get your stuff together, brother. Hopefully we'll see you somewhere else. I can't see Lamar Jackson coming to Atlanta. I just can't see him coming to Atlanta. It doesn't make sense. Get the Converses with the fresh jeans and the white tee. Throw on a jacket with that. You got a full ensemble. Translate that into football terms. Lock in your offensive linemen. Get a stout defensive front. Help Grady Jarrett lock in that defensive front. Keep who you need to keep. Do not overspend. Do not overspend. Because if you overspend, you're going to see a lot of good talent leave. You'll see a lot of good talent leave the franchise. And that is something that I don't think either one of us would like to see. That's how I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what time it is. It is me, he is I, and I am him. I am he that they call the Alpha Male. I'm signing out, people. Peace.
We don't have time for childish games.
Y'all boys gonna play Madden?
Okay, except for that one. Keep it locked with the Alpha Male.